Those of us who are parents or just hang around young children will recognize that there is a period of time early in their lives when every third word out of their mouths seems to be why. Why is the sky blue? Why did my goldfish die? Or my all time favorite is, why do people fart? It's cute to a point, and then it becomes just downright annoying. And fortunately, that stage doesn't last long. And questions are good, they spawn our creativity and some forward thinking. But unfortunately, in our society, we tend to discourage questions. But there are some questions that seem to haunt us, that never seem to go away. Not even time erases them. And perhaps the question of questions is why human suffering. Why do we suffer the way we do? Why do things happen the way they do to us? And probably most poignantly, why do bad things happen to good people? Because very early on in our development as human beings, we began to equate human suffering and good fortune to God or the gods. And that to keep human suffering at bay and to reap just rewards, one did the right things. RIGHT and RITE. And if you did all those things, then you could hold human suffering at bay. The truth was that we all discovered it just doesn't work that way. Sometimes bad things do happen, even when we're doing all the right things. And that can be a real crisis. We find that crisis in the book of Job, where Job is beset by one calamity after another, and he wonders why. His three friends try to explain to him that it simply is because Job screwed up somewhere. He did something wrong. He got God angry. And Job holds on to his innocence. And in the end of the book, he confronts God. And God's response was, who do you think you are? You wouldn't understand. You're not God. It doesn't sit real well with us. In the New Testament, Jesus picks up the question when confronted with a situation where folks were getting arrested and sacrificed by the Roman government for being seditious, terrorists. And also a situation where a tower fell on innocents. And Jesus' response is, do you think they were worse sinners than anybody else? In short, do you think they caused these moments of human suffering because of the way they were living? He unhinges human suffering from our behavior as God's people. In essence, Jesus raises the question that sometimes we just do stupid things, and sometimes other people do stupid things and we get caught in them, and sometimes there are just freak accidents that happen. Again, not real satisfactory when one finds oneself in the midst of suffering, in the midst of death and illness, loss of job, loss of fortunes, wondering about where the next meal comes from. Jesus follows this discussion with a parable. It's a parable of a man who had a vineyard. There was a particular tree that was bearing no fruit, and he ordered it to be cut down. And the steward said, hold on, boss. Give me some time with it. Let me dig around its roots. Let me fertilize it. And see if it doesn't bear fruit. See if it doesn't come back to life. And if it doesn't, okay, cut it down. But if it does, we are all the richer. I believe that in the midst of human suffering, whatever brings it about, God is there digging around our roots, feeding us, nourishing us, bringing us back to life, walking with us, that we might grow once again. For when we find ourselves in suffering, it is though our lives are arrested, stopped. And God comes into that situation to open us up, that we might breathe again and know life. We may never know the answer to why bad things happen to good people or good things happen to bad people on this side of the kingdom. But we do know that in the midst of that suffering, God is with us, digging, feeding, caring for us in ways that we cannot even imagine, that we may once again breathe and bear fruit and live.